Correct. All right. All right. So we have the weekly candle shooting up higher. We got that inefficiency above us. This is Dow Jones. We've displaced this area of interest here. So that's a bullish fair value gap on the daily. We took out the FOMC big O sell-off. So, and there are some inefficiencies here. There is one right here on the daily. But, oh, I mean, it's there. Kind of like that weekly though above it. And there is an inversion there lined up with that too, actually. Maybe if there's like an order block on the 4, then that would be very interesting. Well, yeah, there's order blocks all the way up. But yeah, we've just displaced higher. Took out that high. Have not displaced above it yet. So if you're looking for longs, then yeah, we got this daily here. And no consolidation range to really get excited about getting in long yet. Other than that, that's basically it. It's just shooting back up really quickly. And if we go to the 15 minute, yeah, we've just displaced higher. We go to the 4. Yeah, just lots of displacement here. 1 hour, yeah. So tough one to long unless we create, a range to make it easier to key off of. But we've reached into a premium, so sells make sense given things will line up for it. But so far on the daily, we have shifted here if we don't immediately rebalance yesterday's candle. If we rebalance, sorry, today's candle. If we don't rebalance today's candle tomorrow, then yeah, it's more than likely just going to keep going to all-time highs. And if it does, then that would be exactly what you'd want to see for a reversal back down into this, at least this area, or something like that. And it doesn't even need to immediately sell off. It just needs to rebalance it at all, even if it comes back up. So, yeah, nothing super bearish, but there are. We did displace through this high, so we want to see what happens tomorrow. And tomorrow is FOMC minutes, so that could create. Wait a second. Oh, I had the wrong week on. Okay. Whoa, yeah. Tomorrow there's nothing. And then Thursday we've got Trump speaking at 11 a.m. and then PMI on Friday. So, gonna be interesting tomorrow. See what happens. Um, Dow Jones flows were not super interesting, just bullish. And then Dow Jones index chart. Oh, need new 24. Has displaced above this high. So we have displaced and rebalanced all of the Fed sell-off. And there's clear shift there. So this just looks like it wants to eventually just keep going up. We'll see when we get a pullback, but the only time I look for a pullback is that weekly fair value gap up here, which is lined up with this inversion gap here. So that's an area of interest, and so far we're just shy of that last other week's high. But yeah, we do have gaps underneath. But yeah, that's about it. All right, ES has really showed some strength. Had the SMT at the lows, and it's almost back up at all-time highs where we did get that Fed sell-off. So, excuse me. Can you give me some milk? Thank you. Um, it looks like on the daily we have shifted here. So same thing as YM. We want to see if we can confirm this with the next daily close above it, or no, not too much trading into this. And then we obviously have this drawn liquidity. We've got relative equal lows here, so it would make sense for us to trade into this a bit. Maybe not all the way, but somewhat. Wow. So, and then obviously we have SMT here, but you can't get caught up in that. There's always going to be SMT somewhere. So yeah, it makes sense to totally take this high out, get into this range, and then maybe pull back or something. 4 hour has not. Ooh, no, we have shifted there. Okay. And then we've got a few 4 hour fair value gaps, so I'm not going to mark those. Wow, it looks like we're just headed to this high. This would be the area of interest now. Oops. And same thing as YM, just really shooting up higher. So who knows where to really trade that. Honestly, I don't really like this at all. I don't like this type of trading. I like this type of trading. I like range bound, but still like trending. Or this. This is great. This is all this is great, but just this small retracements grinding up is really tough for me to trade usually, which is fine. Well, it's not that bad. We just need a range. We need to develop a range. All right. So SPY has already taken out that high. It has already, excuse me, come into this range here. This is all low resistance liquidity. So we'll see what happens, but it seems like we're already in an area of interest. So that's very interesting, obviously. No pun intended. Um, and it looks like regular trading hours closed here, but yeah, we're already back into that range. We've already taken out that high. And honestly, I believe I trust this chart more because of the contract switch kind of messed things up in December. All right, so yeah, that's basically it. NASDAQ has also bounced pretty high, but has failed to take out a low yet, though it has these regular trading hours. Where's, what the heck? Oh, I guess we gapped up here at the open. What the heck? I didn't even know that. So yeah, I guess we made a little gap here. And now we have taken out all these highs. There still is bearish SMT, but that's not important unless there's a bearish signal, a bearish draw on liquidity or a bearish reason. So I would expect this to probably take this high at least. So Phew, I'm really tired. But yeah, jumping back to the daily, we have this daily fair value gap above us. On the weekly, we just have the highs, and yeah. Daily has made a fair value gap here into the gap, so we'll see what happens there. Um, whoops. So yeah, if we don't balance this out, then we will have shifted out of this range. And then the 4 hour, yeah, only has the gap, so no shift yet in this range, but that gap is pretty significant. Um, on the 1 hour, nothing much. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, we got the drawn liquidity here at this high all the time. Change that to like a pink, lighter pink. So yeah, we just got the swing high there. So I'm just gonna note that. And this could be an area to reject too, but seems like you'd want to take out a high first, since we've just been grinding higher and higher. So yeah, Q's. Q's had a nice gap up, got rebalanced. We have kind of created an equal high here. And that's already been taken out. So we'll do like a so there is a little level here, but yeah, looks like we're just gonna take out this high. But on the daily, not interesting. Yeah, we're shifting up here on the current day or on the prior day. And then we do have this little gap here. So it could make sense. But these are really low resistance liquidity highs. So we'll see. I could come up into here before getting a reversal. All right. Yeah, that's basically it. Russell. All right. So Russell was the weakest of everything originally. It's not into a premium, I don't think. Oh no, it barely got into a premium. Barely into premium. We're still attacking this weekly's. Daily, we have another little shift here occurring above equal highs. You know, we're above equal highs on basically everything. So this could still be a reversal in the works. I don't doubt it, or I believe it. It could happen. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's just taking out all these intermediate highs. So it just seems like there could still be, very well be a short. It just the flows have been bearish. So, but as for today, flow on Russell had puts being very bearish into the beginning of the day, but calls kind of came out of nowhere and brought the market up the whole way up. Um, just kind of undoing the put premiums, but the put premiums are still rising all day long too. So that's kind of tricky. It's kind of been tricky the whole last several days. Um, SPY had calls coming up with volume and premium, but puts were still puts were still on top, and then the tide was bearish at the beginning of the day, but then flipped bullish. So it was just really weird. We got the dump. I just mistraded it, and yeah, I mean, technically, I still think there's still a reversal here. Q's was bearish all day long. Calls did make a comeback, but puts were still rising. And if you look at holdings, it was bullish and it flipped bullish, flat out, kind of like tide. So yeah, it's still tricky. The flows have still been bearish. It just seems really weird. 4 hour on here, we do have a little gap there. That's nice. That's actually something we can use, possibly. And yeah, just a big old wick with these 4 hour fair value gap holding down here. It has been traded into already. So Russell does look like it's got some nice stuff happening here. It seems like it could be a short. This is always what it does. It creates the high, sells off, and then takes the high out, and then gets the real move. So this looks really interesting. Um, Failing to shift above this. So now we would just look at the levels here. NASDAQ has not taken out any of these, whereas everyone else basically has. ES is about to, so we'll see how that goes. And then Russell barely making new highs here. Excuse me. It's kind of while everybody else is kind of shooting up a lot higher. So there's that. But Russell flow still was divergent there. So I still think there's a short opportunity. I'm still going to keep my eye out for it. I'm still going to look for the tide to flip bearish again and still look for a short. Other than that, if we get a pullback and tide is bullish, then I'm obviously going to look for longs. So yeah, that's the game plan. Longs obviously just target gap fills or little swing highs into the weekly PD arrays, stuff like that. So pretty straightforward. I think once ES takes out this swing high, then I think shorts are really definitely on the table. So not really sure where Dow Jones wants to head. That's kind of the big question. We're filling up this whole fair value gap here. We're touching the higher time frame order block. But other than that, just where do you key off of here? We took out the Fed level, so maybe that's the level there of interest. That's the major SMT there. Nobody's taken out the Fed level at all. So YM takes out the Fed level or FOMC level, and ES comes and takes this high out, but still fails above this. If YM can shift down below this, and then these guys still are up in here and fail, that's another sign. So basically the same playbook as today. It worked really well. I just didn't trade it right. So still same thing as today. Today, looking for longs or shorts based on tide and flow, since both are still on the table. Wednesday has no news, so trade accordingly. But it is like the Trump stuff is all still happening. So I think any of the kill zones could still get a pretty big move. Something comes out with the news. So other than that, gold ended up sweeping those highs. That's like the last thing I'm looking for is gold to sweep this and start to reject if gold is going to actually be bearish here. Gold, we're still inside of that bearish inefficiency, which have all been messed up here due to the contract switch. That's why it's so bright. So yeah, we've taken that out, and then we have this one up here. on the weekly. So yeah, this was the weekly fair value gap, which is above the highs slightly. So daily. But yeah, other than that, I mean, this is the sweep that you'd look for. Um, so now we're just looking for this to reject again, the same short playbook, and look for silver to create SMT into that. If that's going to happen, I don't know. So other than that, I think silver is still long. It keeps coming back down into this level. And so far it looks like it's distributing above these highs, but it could easily just come back down into this range. And yeah, not going to trade it though. Forex just been ranging around these same levels. We'll see what happens there. And yeah, that's it. All right, adios. Wait, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Adios.